Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Network. Today we have some massive news for the enterprise Linux community and open source fans alike. RHEL Linux 9.8 is officially released. Now, if you're new to the channel or just getting your feet wet in the Linux world, you might be wondering what exactly is RHEL Linux and why does a point release like 9.8 matter so much? Think of RHEL Linux as the rock-solid foundation for servers, cloud infrastructure and enterprise workstation. When Red Hat shifted the direction of CentOS a few years back, RHEL Linux stepped up to be the direct 100% bug-for-bug compatible successor. It's built to be completely stable, incredibly secure and completely free. Within this 9.8 release, the team has pushed out updated installation media, ready-to-go container images, cloud images and live images. Whether you want to run this on a massive cloud cluster, a home lab server or just test it out in a live USB, it's ready for you right now. In this video, we are going to break down everything you need to know about RHEL Linux 9.8. We'll look at the massive security upgrades, the brand new database and programming language versions, some powerful new developer tools, and exactly how you can upgrade your system today without breaking anything. So grab a coffee, hit that subscribe button if you love Linux content, and let's dive right into the terminal. Let's start with the absolute backbone of any enterprise operating system, security. If a server distribution isn't secure, nothing else matters. And RHEL Linux 9.8 brings some fascinating cutting-edge security updates that are actually preparing the OS for the future of computing. First up, OpenSSH has been updated to version 9.9. For the beginners out there, SSH or Secure Shell is the tool we use to securely connect to a remote Linux server over the network. Version 9.9 brings a ton of security fixes, better performance and improvements over the old version 8.7 that was used previously. It makes remote management smoother and significantly harder for bad actors to exploit. But here is where things get really cool and a bit sci-fi. Post-quantum cryptography or PQC. You may have heard whispers about quantum computers and how they could eventually break standard encryption. Well, RHEL Linux is already getting ahead of the curve. They've updated GNU TLS to version 3.8.10, which introduces ML-KEM hybrid key exchange and ML-DSA post-quantum algorithm. They've also updated P11 kit to version 0.26.1, adding these quantum-resistant definitions right into the system headers. What this means for you is that RHEL Linux 9.8 is actively laying the ground to ensure your data stays encrypted and safe even against future quantum computing threats. It's rare to see this level of forward-thinking security in a standard point release. Additionally, the team updated FAP Policy D to version 1.4.3. If you haven't heard of FAP Policy D, is the File Access Policy daemon. It determines which applications are allowed to execute on your system based on a trust policy. With version 1.4.3, it now supports advanced rule filtering, giving system administrators way more granular control over what can run on the server. If you're running a secure home lab or a productive environment, this is a massive win for locking down your system. Next, let's talk about what actually runs on top of the operating system, the web stacks, development environments, and databases. If you're looking to host a website, build a web app or manage a massive database, RHEL Linux 9.8 just dropped some major version bumps for the software you rely on every single day. Let's start with the databases. RHEL Linux 9.8 now officially ships with MariaDB 11.8 and PostgreSQL 18. Databases are the unsung heroes of the internet. They store everything from user profile to blog posts. Upgrading to this newer version means you get better indexing, faster query executions, and much more efficient memory management. If your apps are database heavy, you're going to notice a nice performance efficiency bump here. On the applications and scripting side, we are getting Ruby 4.0 and Node.js 24. Node.js 24 is a big deal for web developers, bringing better performance, modernized JavaScript features, and enhanced security defaults. Ruby 4.0 brings incredible improvements to concurrency and speed, making backend applications snappier than ever. Having this modern runtime natively supported in an enterprise-grade distribution means you don't have to jump through hoops adding sketchy third-party repositories just to get up-to-date development tools. It's stable, it's officially supported, and it just works. Now, let's pivot over to the developers, system engineers and anyone who loves compiling software from source. Rocky Linux 9.8 has completely refreshed its system toolchain and compiler stacks. At the foundational core, the base system toolchain now features GCC 11.5 and glibc 2.39, alongside Anobin 12.98 and binutils 2.35.2. These are the underlying pieces of software that compile and run almost every binary on your system. Upgrading this ensures better hardware optimization and fewer bugs at the compiler level. But the real excitement for developers is in the application streams with the introduction of GCC Toolset 15. Inside this toolset, you are getting access to GCC 15.2 for cutting-edge C and C++ compilation, binutils 2.44 for robust binary manipulation, LLVM toolset 21.1.8 for advanced compiler infrastructure, Rust toolset 1.92.0 for memory-safe, high-performance system programming, and Go toolset 1.26.2 for cloud-native and microservice development. If you write code in Rust or Go, you know how fast these languages evolve. Having access to modern versions like Rust 1.92 and Go 1.26 directly within the enterprise ecosystem is fantastic. It means you can write modern code using the latest language features without sacrificing the bulletproof stability of a Rocky Linux base. They've also updated a massive suite of performance tools and debuggers to help you troubleshoot your code and track system health. We're talking GDB 16.3, Valgrind 3.26.0, SystemTap 5.4, and elfutils 0.194. For monitoring system performance in real time or analyzing historical server data, Rocky Linux 9.8 included PCP 6.3.7, Performance Copilot, and Grafana 10.2.6. If you've never used Grafana, it's an incredible tool that turns boring server metrics into beautiful, easy-to-read visual dashboards. Version 10.2.6 brings smoother dashboard creation, better visualization options, and faster loading times. For the cloud architects and system admins out there, let's talk about Image Builder. Image Builder is the tool used to create custom-tailored OS images for deployment across virtualization platforms and cloud providers. And in Rocky Linux 9.8, Image Builder received some incredibly practical, highly requested upgrades. First, it now supports advanced disk partitioning for custom images. This means, instead of being stuck with a generic one-size-fits-all storage layout, you can define exactly how your partition looks right during the image creation phase. Second, they've added Kickstart file injection when building ISO images. Kickstart allows for completely unattended automated installation of Linux. Being able to inject that file directly into the ISO makes automated scaling and deployment infinitely easier. And third, this one is great for developers stuck on corporate laptops. Image Builder now supports native WSL2 image creation. You can now easily spin up a custom Rocky Linux 9.8 environment tailored specifically to run inside the Windows subsystem for Linux. Oh, and a quick technical note for cloud users, standard system images like AWS or KVM formats no longer include a separate /boot partition. The streamliner simplifies the cloud partition layout and avoids potential disk space headaches down the road. Before you jump into the upgrade and migration process, if you are enjoying this deep dive and want to stay up to date with the latest Linux releases, distribution reviews, hardware testing and tutorials, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I do a ton of Linux distribution deep dives, performance testing and step-by-step guides right here on the channel, and having you along for the ride means the world to me. Dropping a like on this video also tells the algorithm that Linux content matters, which helps grow our open source community. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button and let's get right back to how you can get your hands on Rocky Linux 9.8. Alright, let's talk about how this release came to be and exactly how you can get it running on your system right now. One thing I absolutely love about Rocky Linux project is their commitment to stability. Every single release undergoes rigorous testing before it ever hits the public mirror servers. For Rocky Linux 9.8, the team manually and automatically validated the entire operating system across a massive variety of hardware environments and configuration for a full week before approving it. If you love getting your hands dirty and want to help test future releases, you can actually join their public chat. Just jump into the Rocky Linux Mattermost server and join the testing channel. It's an awesome way to contribute back to the open source community. Now, how do you upgrade? If you're already running an older version of Rocky Linux 9, say 9.6 or 9.7, the process is incredibly simple and completely noob friendly. Open up your terminal and type this simple command: Hit enter, type your password and let the system do its thing. DNF will automatically pull the latest packages from the 9.8 repositories, swap out the old files and update your system smoothly. If you're running Rocky Linux with a desktop environment, you can also just open up your graphical app store like GNOME Software or KDE Discover and apply the updates from there. However, there is an important warning in the official release notes. Rocky Linux does not officially support direct upgrades between major releases on the same machine. So, if you are currently running Rocky Linux 8, you cannot just run an upgrade command to get Rocky Linux 9.8. For that scenario, a fresh install of the operating system is highly recommended to prevent dependency conflicts or system instability. But what if you aren't running Rocky Linux yet? What if you're running another Enterprise Linux 9 based distribution like Alma Linux or Red Hat Enterprise Linux itself, and you want to switch over to Rocky Linux 9.8? Well, the Rocky team has you covered with an amazing tool called the Migrate to Rocky Utilities. This is a handy bash script that you can download and execute on your server. It automatically detects your current distribution, swaps out the underlying system repositories for the official Rocky Linux ones, tracks down the package differences and converts your installation over to a fully operational, stable Rocky Linux 9.8 system without losing your data. It is an absolute lifesaver for system administrators looking to standardize their infrastructure. And that is Rocky Linux 9.8 in a nutshell. It's stable, it's secure, it's preparing our system for a post-quantum future, and it gives developers the modern tools they desperately need. Are you planning to deploy Rocky Linux 9.8 on your home lab, your production servers, or maybe a virtual machine to test it out? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out the links in the description for the official release notes and download pages. Thanks for watching, stay secure, and I will see you in the next one.